Hello to our final video for the semester, and today we will be looking at the final section of this assignment. I hope all of you have had a wonderful time going through with me learning Musawwari or miniature painting techniques. In this semester we have tried to cover some of the most essential basic backbone techniques of miniature painting, culminating at this Siyah Qalam technique. And gradually the students have been throughout the weeks building up their final projects. And this week we will be looking at how to really put the finishing touches on that, on their paintings. So they've been working on their projects starting from that first transferring the drawing onto the Wasli paper, inking it, and then starting with the background. And then jumping or honing into the details of the background. Some of the students have foliage, some have other animals or trees, architectural elements. Those elements are being treated in the same way that we did our detail practice drawings in our grids. So the way we did the spirals or the line assignments or even the floral assignments, all those skills along with the Pardakh technique that we learned last time, all those skills are being put into practice as they develop the minute details in the background. And in order to show you how that works, I will be focusing on, rather than walking through an entire painting which would take months to make, I will just focus on the most important part of any Indian painting, which is usually the figure. Of course, the figure could be that of an animal or of a human being or of a god or a goddess. In this case, I am continuing to develop the Krishna drawing that I had started with, and I will only focus on the face, which really captures all the elements that we worked from and learned through the semester, from the spiral or curving lines to the straight lines to the rendering or the Pardakh technique, as well as the outlines. All of them are captured within the face itself. And we are fortunate to have some excellent examples of those portraits here at the WICMA collection as well, particularly in the exhibition that we prepared for the students. And I'm standing in front of one of those excellent examples made by a well-known Mughal artist, Keshav Das, and it's a self-portrait. And here is a wonderful example of how you build up the portrait. And this is the same way that you would build up other elements in the painting as well. And if we zoom into it, we notice how each and every strand of hair has been built up layer upon layer. It's true that the technique is different. When you look at miniature paintings or Indian paintings, most of the paintings are done in the technique called Gad Rang. But in order to get to this final process, you have to go through this Siyah Qalam technique. And essentially, it's the same Siyah Qalam technique that is then applied in opaque watercolor. And this is what we see in this self-portrait, that there's a flat wash of opaque watercolor, and on top of that, the artist has worked with a darker pigment to make the contours and the hair and all the other details that we are seeing. And this is what I will show in our final demonstration for this week, when I make the face of Krishna. So, as I am starting to develop the face, I go through the outlines again and select which parts need to be darker. And the trick or key to keep in mind is that I'm not using a dark tone of the carbon black. I'm just repeating that same light tone over and over again in order to get a very well-developed, rich outline. Because if we just go through it in a very crisp way, it might be a little wiry, and it might actually take many, many years to accomplish that sort of skill and control in which these master artists that we have in this exhibition, for example, could just go over the whole painting in a quick outline without making any mistakes. But as we are learning this technique, it's only been one semester, it's easier to build it up gradually, as I'm doing right now, using a medium tone. And as I build it up, for example, around the eyes, particularly the upper eyelid and the eyebrows, I keep going, repeating that stroke again and again and again until we have this beautiful textured outline and contours. And then we go into the places that need to be rendered with the Pardakh technique. And the Pardakh technique is also used in several different ways. For example, the neck, where the hair ends and the shadow begins, we can use slightly more dash-like strokes to build it up so that it's like a transition from the hair into shading. And then when we come to the eyes or around the nose or the mouth, we do the very, very, very subtle stippling Pardakh technique and build it up extremely gradually, using as light a tone as possible and just repeating the strokes over and over again around those areas. Of course, we don't want to repeat it immediately again because it's still wet and it might actually lift up. So you put a stroke and then move on, and then put another dot or stipple, move on, and then come back, circle around it and make it darker if you want to. So it's a whole process. You're traveling with the brush on the face, gradually building up all those places. And then after all the rendering is done, we start doing the jewelry right at the end. With Krishna, he has a lot of jewelry. He's got a fancy crown as well. So we do all those glittering elements right at the end. And then after all of that is done, we can go in again one final time with the outline just to make it more crisp. And then we have a complete portrait. And this is exactly the way we would deal with all the other elements, whether that's a peacock or a tree or a building. We try to build all of those elements in this way, building them gradually and then doing a final outline around them. And that is how the students have also developed their final assignments.